naturally doing intermittent fasting. And it's not because I'm planning it. I'm not going to eat breakfast or whatever. It's just I'm not hungry, so I don't force myself to eat.
So I just want to say welcome, Lindy. Lindy has been in our life for a long time. She's been in SBG, we've been coaching, and it's been a little while since we've seen you, and you've got some exciting updates. So we wanted to touch base and have some chat time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, Lindy. Lindy, let's go ahead and start out with, give us a little history of what you've been through.
Well, I'm 52 years old and I've been overweight pretty much all my life. My family, got Italian background on my mum's side. My father's English. And we've always used food as to celebrate. And when you're happy, you eat. When you're sad, you eat. It's been a bit of a crutch for me. Just food was a big part of our lives. I've tried losing weight many times. I've tried things. I'm in Australia, so we've got things like Jenny Craig, you've got the Weight Watchers, the Slim Shakes. I actually had lap band surgery about 25, 30 years ago and failed that miserably, obviously. And over the years, I've got up to over 350 kilos, which is about over 700 pounds. I don't know my weight because my scales only go up to the 350 kilos, so 700 pounds. And I was, every time I hopped on the scale, I would see ERR error for 2 years. So I have no idea what my highest weight was. I found Bella and Steak and Butter Gang. I've been following their videos, obviously Ken Berry, Dr. Chafee, all the videos I've been binging for such a long time, and tried doing carnivore by myself. I'd do it a few days, feel good, but I kept falling off the wagon. I just couldn't, the cravings were too bad. I just couldn't stick with it. So I decided to join the challenge in December 2021. And I lasted a couple of days and still fell off the wagon. And then 3rd of January 2022, I decided that's enough. Something just clicked in my head and I need to do this. So joined the challenge, contacted Emily and said, look, I need some help. The Zoom sessions were fantastic. Just listening to the people in December, just listening to the stories, the inspiration, how people were improving so many health issues and just feeling happier and just, it was just amazing. And I wanted to be one of those. I was depressed. I couldn't walk from the lounge to the toilet. I'd wake up in the morning, sit down. I work from home, so I fall asleep at my computer like an hour after I could wake up from a night's sleep. Pass out on the couch all the time. Had no energy. I was depressed. Life had to change. So we did the meetings. I didn't have my camera on because I was embarrassed. I was so disgusted with how I looked, how I felt, and it was very difficult. But anyway, moving on, I started the fasting and feasting protocol. I struggled with the fasting part of it, but the carnivore, I stuck to that. And the weight just started dropping off, like really quickly. I lost a lot of weight fast and I was feeling better. Cravings started to go away. I did have my little struggles. It's hard. My husband's wasn't carnivore at the time and, he was always sort of having things and it was very tempting to stop and just, it's easy just to do things together. But, I stuck strong to myself and just kept going with what I was doing. And, I'm now down to about 300 pounds. So it's 400-pound loss, 140 kilos this morning. Weight loss has slowed down a little bit, but, this is for life now. I'm never going back to how I was. I've been on a cruise, which is really nice with my girlfriend. That was the first time out of the house. Like I was pretty much housebound for a long time. I didn't get to go out on land a lot because I was still walking from one side of the ship to the other was such a big, a big thing for me. But, we still had a lot of fun, and I stayed carnivore pretty much the whole time. I just did have one glass of champagne because it was my anniversary on the ship. So we got offered free champagne, and so I was like, well, I'll drink that. But that was it. No more after that, that was my treat, and the only time I've had the alcohol there. So, it is what it is.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's my story.
So how did you come about finding carnivore, and why did you think that was a good approach for you specifically?
Well, to be honest, my sister, she lost a lot of weight doing keto. So I tried doing keto, and I found there was too many temptations. Keto cheesecake, keto pasta, keto, all my favorite things. You could just keto it. And then you think, oh, it's keto, you can just have double the portion. I couldn't moderate that. So I just couldn't do it. Now, she was fantastic. She, recorded everything, but she's got that kind of mind where she's very scientific, and she's really good at doing that. Me, there was too many temptations. It was too hard. I hated weighing things and trying to work out how many carbs, and it just failed for me. So it didn't work. Then I think Dr. Ken Berry, just following him, how he turned carnivore and all the benefits of that. And I thought, well, it sounds weird, just eat meat, but I love my beef. I love my steak. I'll give that a go. And so that's what I did. So, yeah. So
Were you ever worried about all the myths about carnivore and eating red meat, cancer and all that stuff? Did I ever?
Yeah, that's all you hear about. And even now with my friends, they're like, what? How can you just eat meat? And I'm like, well, when you're desperate, and I've tried everything else, what else can I do? This is my last resort. I've had surgery. I got up to 700 pounds on it with a lap band. How do you do that? Your mind, you know what to eat. You can eat slippery, food that just goes down, and you can just bypass all of that. You've got to fix your head before you can fix anything else. And with the carnivore diet, like eating meat, I don't have the cravings that I had anymore. You eat, and I'm full, and it's like it just switches off in your head, and you stop thinking about food. Like I wake up in the morning, and 7:30, nearly 8 o'clock this morning here now. I haven't even thought of food. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And I probably won't eat until about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. That's weird for me.
Amazing, right? Because you probably come from probably I did, when I was eating, I was thinking when my next meal was going to be right away.
And then when you've had your meal, what's for dessert, or what are you going to have for a snack? It didn't turn off. It never stopped. Right. Now I don't. I have my meal, and then I'm for another couple of hours. Like I'll have maybe 2 meals a day, sometimes only 1 meal a day. If I'm not hungry, I just don't eat. And I'm not consumed by food anymore. That is such a big change.
And beforehand, what was your, how many times did you eat throughout the day, and how did that work? Or were you always into the sweets, or how did that work for you? Were you a sugarholic or carboholic or anything like that?
I never really had breakfast, but I'd have lunch and dinner. And because I didn't have breakfast, I'd have to make up for it at lunch and dinner. So I'd eat each.
It's the easiest one to skip, right? We just skip breakfast. You think you're going to help yourself somehow by skipping breakfast.
Yeah, and then you feel, I didn't have breakfast, so I need to make up for it now. But yeah, dinner was probably the worst, because then that's when my husband would come home, and it got to the point where I didn't cook much anymore because I had to stand I had to sit in the kitchen to cook. I couldn't stand. It was too hard. He's been fantastic. He's been such a good support and helping just around the house and doing everything, because I physically couldn't do it. I was shocking. But what did I eat? Being an Italian background, I love my pastas. That was a big crutch, and just having a couple of bowls of that, easy. And then afterwards, it's just sort of, well, what are we going to have for dessert, and what are we going to have for a snack? You know,
Mhm.
we didn't eat it after all that, but you're just still hungry. There's always room for more. And I don't know if it's the carbs that does that to you or what, but it's just something in your head.
It is. I
Just
think it's the
keep
lack of
keeping-
nutrition. I think our bodies intuitively are seeking that nutrition. We're seeking the fats and the amino acids that we need, but we've got the addiction component of the sugars and the processed food, and so it just is like it mixes up. You don't know your signals correctly. Proteins and fats together and meats are the only thing that actually give your body accurate signals.
Actually, I'll even go a little deeper than that. Really and honestly, our bodies have a sense for the proper amino acids it needs, because that is essential for life. So if you're not getting it, which all of these are nutrient deficient carbs and sugars, but they're making you think like you're eating something. So all it's going to do is keep on perpetually saying, hey, I don't have enough. I don't have enough of the amino acids that I need. And it's not in balance. So all your body's doing is taking in and storing everything, because like, well, I got too much of this. Is the same kind of thing. Okay, I'm going to store it. I'm going to ask for more. Store it, ask for more, because I'm not getting what I really need. And you're the best example, the way you described it. It's like when you start eating the proper foods, which is meat, all of a sudden all that turns off. Now, a lot of people would say that, oh, it's not a big deal that you're doing this, but you've been doing it for a year and a half. So nobody can say that this was a short amount of time that you held off. You've been doing it. So obviously your cravings are really turned off. That because you're getting the proper nutrients. And isn't it wonderful to feel that actual finally feeling of just not needing to think about food? Isn't that great, Lindy?
Food freedom.
Food
I'm
freedom.
not dictated by my brain and my stomach anymore. I've got a life. I don't have to think about food. I'm getting so much more done. I'm getting out and enjoying things. I think I mentioned earlier, I went out last night and had so many, carby snacks and sweets and things like that. And I didn't touch anything. My husband, he went to town on everything. And I was quite fine with that. I was like, you do you. I'm doing me. And,
You're left out.
I was not left out. I didn't even need to have any alcohol or anything. It was, it was a nice function. It was a beautiful evening. And I didn't feel like I was missing out. I came home and I ate half a steak because I wasn't that hungry. Like I was craving something, but, and it was late at night by the time we got home. I didn't want to go to bed on a full tummy. So I just had half a steak and that was it, and had a fantastic night. I just didn't crave the food. I saw it and I'm like, my steak looks better. It tastes better, and I don't like the way I feel after I have that kind of stuff. I don't want to feel bloated and brain fogged and all of that stuff.
That's awesome. What really made it click when you joined us, you think? Because you said you had a few fallbacks starting out carnivore. Were you actually eating enough, or did you prime? And tell us your experience on priming.
I don't think I ever did it properly. I know you say to prime till you come to your sort of stuffed. I didn't. And so then when it came to the fasting, I did struggle. And just having the food all the time. I was just used to eating all the time. So I was used to having 3 meals a day. And obviously seeing my husband eat and then I'm not. That sort of bugged me as well. And it's not his fault. I shouldn't be worried about what he does. This is my journey. But I'm happy with that now. And, I don't mind what he does. I just need to do me. This is what I need to do for my health. And, he's in charge of his health. So, But the stories, just listening to all there's, your guidance in the group, or your gold nuggets of, knowledge and, the tips and tricks and little hacks and things that were just so helpful to help get you through those moments. It's just been fantastic. And I definitely needed a bit of a one-on-one coaching. I did feel that, at my size, I was 700 pounds. I think I was one of the biggest in the group. and I didn't never had my camera on. I hid in the back. I've been the lurker for years because I was embarrassed to show myself. I'm now starting to feel confident. Obviously, I've still got a long way to go, and I'm fine with that. You know, this is not a diet. This is a lifestyle. This is what I'm going to do forever. You know, maybe down the track things will change. I have no idea. But right now, carnivore for me, I don't plan to do anything differently. I just love the way I feel now. And it's only going to get better from here on. So
your journey has just, the progression has been so phenomenal to see. And I remember earlier on, there was a big issue about what spouse was doing, what husband was doing. And this is such a big issue for those of us starting and those of us that are still in it, is what's happening in the world around us. And I just see like this calm and this confidence that has actually grown since we've been working together. We were working together pretty closely for about a year in there. And then you became so confident on your own and started accomplishing so many things that it was, time for you to be independent. But what I've seen is that your independence and confidence has just grown, and you've become, more and more at peace with your own boundaries and with letting other people outside of you have their own journey.
Yes.
it is my journey. I need to make the changes. No one else can do it for me. And I can't expect other people to do it as well. So if people ask me what I'm doing, I'll tell them. They all think I'm nuts. And none of my friends or family have, apart from my husband, who is carnivore most of the time, but he does have his slip-ups. No one else has really shown any interest. And, I'm fine with that. I'm more than happy to talk to them if they want to, but they all tell me, they need to have the variety. How can you just eat meat? And it's like, well, when you're desperate enough, you'll do anything, and, I think I'm living proof of how carnivore has been a benefit to me. I've changed so much.
There's no denying it. I don't think I hope nobody around you is denying that you've had much better results. They probably see it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I brag about you most days, Lindy. I really do, especially now that you're comfortable talking with people and now that you have your confidence has just grown and grown. And so it pretty much renders them speechless. There's not a lot to say. And you're being humble too, because, when you're at 350 kilograms, that was more 757, you were closer probably to the 800. I mean, we don't know. And that's how desperate, everything got. We really don't even know your accurate starting weight. Where you are, you've been brave enough to really encourage other people. And so I think that as carnivore just grows and more people are learning about these stories, just your story is such a significant part. I mean, I have the half my size story. You're the third my size, or the 25% of my size, so I love that you've gotten the confidence to, just share about it. Oh, I wanted to ask you about what has the doctors said before and now, and what has that medical experience been like, and talk about some of the other medical conditions.
Oh, wow. Doctors, I don't think much of, I'm sorry, but I shouldn't say it. I haven't had very good experience. Obviously, whenever you walk into the doctors, you go with a splinter and they tell you need to lose weight. Like, I know I need to lose weight. I did have a blood test just before I started this journey, and the doctor was like, oh, you need all these different scans, liver scan, this, bad. As I thought I was going to die, and I felt like I was going to die, but it's like I didn't expect there to be, that grim. I went and got a second opinion, and the lady was like, oh, no, you're not as bad as what she's saying. You don't need to have these scans. But I was pre-diabetic. I do have a hypothyroidism, so I'm on medication for that. Inflammation, the markers were through the roof. I had severe lipedema and lymphedema. My legs were just so full of fluid. My eyesight was failing. I couldn't see any words on the TV. I couldn't read anything. My phone, I could not read messages. I could just make it the button to do text voice messages because I couldn't read anything. It got that bad. And I think that might have been because I was pre-diabetic for a while. What else have I had? Migraines. I had migraines every other week. and I'd be, 24 hours I was laid up in bed, couldn't be anywhere near light. It was just so bad. And then after that, for 2 days, I'd be, after having all the drugs to try and fix that, I'd be gone for 2 days just to wear off all those migraine tablets and things. Yeah, it just felt terrible. Mobility was bad. I had a few falls in the hall, just walking, but and I couldn't get up. I had to call to my daughter or my husband to grab a chair and try and prop myself up. Actually knocked my teeth and had issues with those as well. Had very bad gum disease. So a lot of issues. Blood test recently. I'm no longer pre-diabetic.
Wow.
Nice.
That's completely reversed. I actually had a blood test on Friday and I'm still waiting on these results. The last test was in February. Cholesterol, fantastic. Yeah, all my markers were just looking good.
And your CRP? Yeah, inflammatory?
Yeah, that's all perfect. She said not a problem. So
No way.
I even figured, but she said, yeah, that's sort of very close to normal levels now. So
Wow.
yeah.
That says a lot.
Yeah, this is a new doctor I've got now. And she says, oh, are you still doing the carnivore diet? I'm like, yeah, waiting for and she's like, oh, you keep it up. I'm like, thank you. This is the first time I've actually gone into a doctor and she didn't even ask me what my weight was.
Oh,
She didn't give me a lecture about anything. She was just so, we'll check all these things and that was, I just felt like a normal person again.
That's
the
awesome.
previous doctor, she actually left to go and work in a bariatric centre. And I'd lost, I think I was down to 180 kilos back then when I saw her. So I don't know the pounds for that. From like 350 pounds to 180 kilos. So that's a really big loss. And before she left, she said, oh, well, here's my card. When you fail carnivore, come and see me for surgery. I'm like, what? I didn't know what to say. And I hope she's watching this. I'm still going,
Right.
That's right.
She also told me that you can never reverse diabetes. I'm in remission. I'm like, well, maybe I am, if I go back to my normal way of eating, obviously that I have no plan going that way again. So yeah.
That was the moment, Lindy, when that happened. Remember when that happened with your doctor, when she said, oh, just come back when you're ready for your surgery, that it grew a fierceness inside of you. And you were like, watch me now. And you had become, you had so much success at that point. And so it just kind of added the fire to your determination to heal. I did want to talk about like the first month that you were on. Do you remember that dramatic weight loss within 30 days?
100 pounds in 30 days. Yeah, tell us.
The day I hopped on the scales, like I keep trying to hop on the scales and just see error. And I tried not to let it get disheartened. I'm like, how much over was I not to be able to record on these scales? And then I hadn't done it for a little while and then I just jumped on and I was like, what? This kind of been broken for 2 years, serious. And every time I've hopped on, I've never seen that EWR again. So obviously they're not broken for 2 years. It's been working fantastically since. So, look, just to have that little measure, like one thing I do regret is you guys telling me take photos, take measurements, and I never did. I was too embarrassed. I didn't want to know what it was. And now I wish I did. I wish I knew what my starting weight was. I wish I knew what my measurements were so I can just say, hey, this is where I was and be proud of myself at where I am now. As I said, it's still a long way to go, but I'll take it. This is fantastic where I am now and I'm happy. And yeah, as I said, this is life. This is my life.
You've come such a long way. You've actually come to the point where, because you were at the point where you're like, nothing's working. And all you're doing is gaining probably, right? And then now that you're losing, you're saying, so to me, it's like you reversed the impossible that you thought was impossible. And that's what I love about this.
What breaks my heart is my daughters. just recently they mentioned that they'd be talking to each other, about what happens when I go. I mean, my daughters are 32 and 20, and the 21, she's going to be 21 in November. She's still living at home. What are you going to do? You're going to come and live with us. What are we going to do if mum goes? That breaks my heart to think they were having conversations like that. I should be here for them, to watch them. Like my oldest, she's not married yet. She's got a wonderful fiance. I'd love to see her get married. I'd love for my little one to find someone, and I want to be part of their lives, and to think that they were worried that I wasn't going to make it. I wasn't going to be here for much longer. The way I felt, I don't think I was going to be here much longer either. I was on death's door. I was miserable. I couldn't walk, and housebound. I did go out occasionally. I couldn't fit behind the wheel of a car. I hadn't driven for such a long time, and which was difficult. My husband had an episode one night and needed to go to hospital. I couldn't drive him. Ambulances through COVID, and we called an ambulance. An hour later, nothing. They finally rang up and said, "I'm sorry, the ambulances they're at capacity. We can't pick him up. We'll send a taxi." And the car sitting in the driveway, I couldn't fit behind the wheel. He couldn't drive. My daughter was in Sydney at the time, so I couldn't even help him. That still, that was before I started Carnivore.
Right.
Get me going. I was like, what needs to happen for me to do something? So 3rd of January, I don't know what clicked in my head, but that was a big day for me. Something just happened, and I've been pretty good since. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. You've tried. It's not like you haven't tried. You've tried many, many things before. And, obviously you have willpower to go through certain things, and actually did the lap band. That's the part that's really amazing. It's not like you just let it all go. It's just nothing was working for you. That's what the story I want to let people know. If we eat the proper nutrition, the body has a chance to heal itself. And that's what's been happening with you. That's what I love your story so much, because even with what doctor could think that you could eventually lose weight. Even a lab band person probably thought her lab band would, whatever surgery you would have the second time around, you'd still come back to where you were. Because how many stories did we hear of that, right? People would, it apparently doesn't fix the problem. And this one, because you've been there so long, is that part, like most people consider that a total success already. Year and a half, and I don't see a problem with you doing this for 5 years, 10 years. I'll be there with you doing that, because there's no way back,
There's no other way. And it's not for lack of motivation. It's just such a desperate situation that most of us are in, that there is no proper plan. There's nobody telling us this is the path. And, when we're trying to on that keto road, trying to count carbs, trying to manage, how much of that have you had to do in the last year and a half, Lindy? Have you been measuring your food and weighing it and tracking it? And
no, not at all. I just eat, and when I'm full, I stop. Simple. And naturally doing intermittent fasting. And it's not because I'm planning it. I'm not going to eat breakfast or whatever. It's just I'm not hungry, so I don't force myself to eat. And I don't think about food. So, I hear there's 2 types of people. You're moderators and you're abstainers, and I'm an abstainer.
Yeah.
People can moderate. They can portion control and do all that. And like my sister do the keto and be fine with that. And she's doing, fantastic. But for me, it's too many options. I need to cut the carbs. I need to cut the sugars, and I need to just stick and keep it simple. Just eat the meat, a couple of eggs. I stay away from dairy. I find that stalls me, and I love the simplicity of it. An air fryer is the best invention.
oh yes, you do a lot of rump roast is what I remember you talking about, right? Or steaks.
We do porterhouse steak in the air fryer. So I have that every night just with my salt. My husband has his porterhouse as well, and he has the hard-boiled eggs with that. And I've been doing brisket in the oven, and that's it. That's pretty much what we have.
Still some
Sometimes
salted egg yolks to dip in.
yeah, I like my raw egg yolks. Yeah. But I haven't been doing that. I've been sort of doing more line the last couple of weeks, just because my weight loss has slowed down a little bit. So I thought I'll just sort of try line for a little bit. And that seems to have helped go down a little bit.
Gotcha. Lion diet, just ruminant only, beef, salt, water. Yeah.
Yeah, just thought I'd give it a try. And I enjoy it. I just love keeping it simple. So yeah.
What about digestion? We had some issues when we started. You had the lap band, and there was I remember some struggles. How long was it until that came around?
Oh goodness, quite a few months. I did struggle with my food going down. I have to eat slowly, and I find the more the meat is cooked, the harder it is to go down. It must be very dry. So I like to have. I actually prefer to have my steaks a lot rarer now, and that goes down a lot better. But yeah, I used to get stuck a lot because of the lap band, but I don't find that as much anymore. That sort of sorted itself out. Yeah,
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad it's it's so nice when everything sorts itself out. You feel, but did you keep a list of your NSVs also on the side, or did you just so
I've been sitting down trying to remember them all, and occasionally I watch some videos and I think, oh yeah, I had that too.
That's very familiar. Yeah. So
I remember a moment. That's because we've been together for quite some time. What was that moment like when speaking of mobility, of when a car came back into your life?
Yes, let's talk about that.
I bought myself a car finally, so I'm now mobile again. Oh look, that just having that freedom. I can fit behind the wheel again. I can put a seatbelt on, even in any car, like even in the back seat, the seatbelts fit. So when I go out with other family in other cars, it's been really good. So yeah, just to be able to go out again. It's so nice having wheels and getting out of my house. These four walls, it has become, although I love my house, it was a prison for me. I'm comfortable here. I didn't like being around people. I didn't want people looking at me, and kids pointing at the fat lady. It's very hard. So you just sort of, I'm safe in these four walls. Nobody sees me. And, yeah, it was hard. Even when people wanted to come and visit, I was always self-conscious of how much more I've put on since they last saw me, because that was always difficult.
How do you feel now? Because you just said that you went out to like a zoo and all that. How did you feel with all those people around?
Yeah. I felt almost normal. Yeah. I didn't feel like the big person in the room. There were other people, I think my size as well there, and I kind of just blended in, and I didn't feel like anyone was looking at me weird, or, I just was there, and we had a good time, and we went off and did a bit of a walk around this wildlife park. Now I don't walk much because I still struggle. My bones and my muscles and everything, I still feel like mentally I feel like I can go, but physically my body's still trying to catch up. Yes, and that's a big change, and I need to try and do more strength training and walking. But after I've done a bit of walking, I suffer. So that's sort of my next sort of goal, is to try and get more movement in, but not try and overdo it so that I don't hurt myself, because then I can't do anything for a week when I've done too much. But I did go for a bit of a walk last night, and we went and had a look at all the kangaroos and wallabies and possums and lots of birds, and I was just in my element. Yeah, that was really good.
Wow. The slow start, and the fact that you did not focus on exercise or movement anytime early in your journey. And I know you wanted to. You would say, oh, I'm ready to start getting going on the treadmill. I'm ready to start this. And, it's just just keep it slow down. Now your body's telling you you're ready to, your energy is telling that you're ready to. It's still slow is what I'm talking about.
It is mentally, I just want to go. And
Yes,
physically, I really struggled. So
I remember that you were hurting yourself almost going so hard early on. You're like, I need to work out. I need to do. And what's funny is, no, what you needed to do is just keep eating carnivore. And that took care of it. And then all of a sudden you have the energy and want to exercise. That's how we want it.
Yeah, and I'm definitely doing a lot more around the house, just walking around the house, which I wasn't doing before. So that's extra movement, which, I wasn't doing before. So I have to sort of count that in as well.
Because you can, and now you have the quality of life. Before, like you said, you were in a prison, and now you're able to move around and have the quality of life that you'd like. Of course, there's much more to come to this, but perfect, no problem. Now that you're feeling quality of life, wow, this is wonderful. Life is beautiful again, right?
Yeah, it sure is.
Oh, it looks beautiful on you, Lindy. You were talking about safety and how, certain things feel safe and certain things don't feel safe. And I've just seen as your confidence has grown, like I see you as the safe person now, because there's so many people that are struggling that started from that kind of a spot. And it's gotten contagious. We got so close just from, all the time that we spent in our relationship and our coaching, and just got to see so much empowerment. And then just seeing you now that you're ready to be that safety for somebody else, and to the folks that think that are just exhausted in this life, that are housebound, that can't move, that can't drive, that feel like they're letting the people around them down, feel like they're letting their family down, and that you have been there and you're willing to talk about that. And you're just such a beacon of hope for people moving forward. It's just beyond an honor to watch you shine and to watch your confidence grow and offer that safety to other people.
Yeah. Well, I started a year and 6 months ago. And back then I just thought, a year, what's going to happen in a year? And that just seems so far away, and it's just gone so quickly. And the change in that, it is a short time. I mean, I've been here on this world for 52 years doing really bad things to myself. A year and a half is nothing, but the improvements has been dramatic, life-changing.
A year and a half at a minimum of 400 pounds, probably more. I think we're probably more in the 450, 470 pounds. We don't know. We don't have to know. Your face, your story, your, just willingness is the story. It's right there. And I love that you're going to be back in the gang with us. That is just great. And your camera's going to be on this time?
It will be on. The first meeting's just after this, I think. So I'll be there.
Yes, you're right. You're right. We'll take a little breather and we'll come back, and Lindy's going to be there with her camera on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying the actual full protocol this time. Now that I've been all this time, I'm going to try the feasting and the fasting and doing the whole program. So I'm going to do it this month. Yeah, there.
Perfect. I can't wait to see how the calendar works for you on that. Then.
Yeah, another tool, notch in my belt there. So give it a go and see how that goes. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you for being so open-minded with us and trusting us enough to actually take the chance and doing what you've done so far, and actually reaching out to Emily, because that took a lot of courage, I'm sure, just saying I need help and I need somebody to guide me through.
Oh, it's super scary, but you guys have been awesome. I felt so comfortable the whole time. And the fact that I couldn't do the fasting part of it, you guys were able to customize the program to suit me and to help me with it. And, I owe all of this to you guys. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for you guys. So thank you so much.
Such an honor. Thank you, Lindy.
There's no stopping you. We're just moving forward. Things are just getting better from here, and they've gotten so good already. Okay.
Thank you, Lindy.
Raymond, you do it now.
Right.
I love you.
Thank you, everyone, for whoever's watching this, just to give you hope. If you're anywhere, you know, just what Lindy's gone through is what we consider the impossible. And she's gone through it and actually is now, as she said, leading a normal life. That's what we all want, is that quality of life. Yes, there's a little bit of sacrifice with changing the way we're eating, but wow, what's not worth that for quality of life? So if you guys are curious about what we do and how we do it, please join the gang. And this is the best way to contact both Emily and I. And if you're struggling as bad as Lindy did, let us help you. Let the whole gang help you. And as a matter of fact, Lindy will be part of the gang. So if you want to just chime her and you need that hope and you feel like there's only but one person that can relate to you and that may help you get into that journey, please, I mean, just we're here to help. I'm sorry, I'm speaking for you here, Lindy. Hopefully you don't mind me in saying it. If there's anybody that's that way, yes.
I'm happy to help as well. You know, that is a big thing, having somebody there that understands what you've been. You know, I didn't have that. So if I can help someone change or just to talk to, I'm more than happy to be there. I have big shoulders and I'm here to help inspire and keep you on track. So yeah.
Lindy, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love you. I'll see you in a meeting in just a few minutes. Thank you guys. Amazing.